I got the name Lil Peep because since I was small baby, my mom has called me Peep. I don't know why, Peepers.
Some artists create music, others create movements. Lil Peep was more than just a rapper, more than just a singer. He was the voice for the lost, the misunderstood, and the broken. A pioneer in blending hip-hop, emo, and punk, he turned pain into poetry and struggles into sound. His music wasn't just heard, it was felt, resonating with millions around the world who saw themselves in his words. But behind the fame, the tattoos, and the raw lyrics was Gustav Elijah R., a young man with dreams, demons, and a heart too big for this world. This is his story. Lil Peep, born on November 1st, 1996, in Allentown, Pennsylvania, was the second child of first-grade teacher Liza Womack. His maternal grandfather, John Womack, was a Harvard University professor specializing in Latin American history and economics with expertise on Emiliano Zapata, a key figure in the Mexican Revolution. He had an older sibling named Carl Oscar R. Both of his parents were Harvard graduates. His mother's family originated from Oklahoma, while his father was of Swedish descent. In 2016, R mentioned that he held Swedish citizenship, which he obtained through his father under Swedish law, granting automatic citizenship to those with at least one Swedish parent at birth. And before the age of 5, Lil Peep and his family relocated to Long Beach, New York, on Long Island. R attended Lindale Elementary School, conveniently located across the street from his mother's apartment in Long Beach. By 3rd grade, he was placed into the school's Gifted and Talented program, and in middle school, he was enrolled in accelerated classes and showed an early interest in both music and fashion, playing the trombone and tuba. At the age of 15 in 2012, Lil Peep's parents separated. The following year, at around the age of 16, Lil Peep began struggling with anxiety, according to his mother, and started self-medicating with marijuana and Xanax. Despite his personal challenges, Peep shared a close bond with his mother, even getting a tattoo at the age of 14, a tribute to her initials and birthday inked on his arm. After his parents' divorce, he moved in with his mother and older brother to Long Beach, New York. It was there that he recorded several of his early projects, including Lil Peep, Part 1, Feels, Vertigo, and much of his California Girls, along with several songs like Garden in the Bedroom, I Confess Mall Music, Relmo's Regrets, and the iconic Star Shopping. During his teenage years, Lil Peep described himself as a loner, forming most of his friendships online. Inspired by the underground artists like Cheryl Hawes the Waterboys and I Love McKinnon, Peep began making music while living on Long Island under the name Trap Goose, and for a time, he stayed with his childhood friend Brennan Savage before the two decided to move to Los Angeles. R attended Long Beach High School in Lido Beach, New York in 2012, but Hurricane Sandy forced the school to close for several weeks. When the classes resumed, a more relaxed atmosphere allowed Peep to enjoy his junior year. However, by Peep's senior year, a new administration, unfamiliar with the school's culture, made things more difficult. Feeling drained and on the verge of dropping out, he received support from a teacher named Maria Hartman and 2 other trusted educators who helped him complete his final required courses, English and Social Studies. As a result, he graduated 6 months early in January 2014. The same month, R was accepted into sunny Old Westbury, but decided not to attend. Instead, he briefly enrolled at Glendale Community College in California, taking a class with a middle school friend who later dropped out. After his first semester, he left Glendale and later attended Nauvoo Community College in New York, where he took 4 online classes, including business, criminal justice, and art history. Excelling academically, he even made the dean's list. However, instead of continuing his education, R chose to pursue music full-time and dropped out and began performing with Schema Posse by the end of 2015. He had already created an extensive catalog of work from his bedroom, and at 18, he got his first of many face tattoos with a distinctive broken heart beneath his left eye, symbolizing his commitment to an unconventional path. But Peep later said, "A tattoo on your face is gonna stop you from getting a lot of jobs," he later remarked. Lil Peep's first major breakthrough came with his 2015 mixtapes, including Lil Peep Part 1, Feels, and Live Forever. These projects showcase his signature blend of methodic lyrics, grunge-inspired beats, and lo-fi production. His song Star Shopping became one of the most recognized early tracks, gaining widespread attention on SoundCloud and social media. By 2016, his music had gained a cult-like following and became associated with the underground collective, Goth Boy Clique, alongside artists like Wicca Face, Springs Eternal, Cold Heart, and Little Tracy. His projects Crybaby and Hellboy solidified his status as an internet sensation, with tracks like OMFG, Girls, and the song they played when I crashed my car resonating with fans who related to his themes of heartbreak, depression, and self-destruction. Unlike many mainstream artists, Peep's rise to fame was almost entirely organic and relied on online platforms, word of mouth, and a highly dedicated fan base to push his music forward. His aesthetic, characterized by face tattoos, punk-inspired fashion, and raw vulnerability, made him a cultural icon among young listeners searching for authenticity in music. Throughout 2017, Lil Peep's career reached new heights with the release of his debut studio album, Come Over When You're Sober, Part 1. The album featured some of the most successful tracks, including Bench Truck and Awful Things, earning him mainstream recognition and critical praise. His music videos garnered millions of views, and he began selling out shows across the US and Europe. Peep's rising fame attracted the attention of major record labels, artists, and producers. He was on the verge of breaking into mainstream superstardom, collaborating with artists like Marshmello and one of his personal favorite rappers, I Love McKinnon, and exploring new sounds for his next projects. However, his struggles with mental health and substance abuse loomed in the background of his success, which would end up causing Lil Peep's early demise. On November 15, 2017, Lil Peep was discovered unresponsive on his tour bus when his manager went to wake him for that night's performance in Tucson, Arizona. Authorities ruled out foul play, and his passing was suspected to be a result of an overdose. In the hours leading up to his death, Lil Peep posted a series of Instagram updates in which he mentioned consuming psilocybin mushrooms and cannabis concentrate. In another post, he claimed to have taken 6 Xanax pills, accompanied by a video showing him repeatedly attempting to swallow an unidentified pill before successfully ingesting one while shaking a full prescription bottle. One of his final posts carried an eerie message: "When I die, you'll love me." A police report released in the days following his passing detailed that Lil Peep had taken a nap around 5:45 p.m. before the concert. His manager checked on him twice, noting that he was breathing, but unable to wake up. Upon checking a third time, the manager found him unresponsive and not breathing. CPR was performed until the medics arrived, but Lil Peep was pronounced dead at the scene. On December 8th, the Pima County Office of the Medical Examiner confirmed that his death was caused by an accidental overdose of fentanyl, a potent painkiller, and Xanax, a sedative. Toxicology tests also detected the presence of cannabis, cocaine, and the opioid tramadol. Urine tests revealed additional opioids, including hydrocodone, hydromorphine, oxycodone, and oxymorphine. However, no alcohol was found in Lil Peep's system. Lil Peep's death had an overwhelming emotional impact on his fan base, many of whom viewed him as a deeply personal figure in their lives. His music, which often dealt with themes of heartbreak, anxiety, depression, and self-destructive tendencies, resonated with his fans who related to his struggles. For these listeners, Lil Peep represented an unfiltered voice that allowed them to feel less alone in their emotional turmoil. His openness about his struggles gave fans the courage to express their feelings of sadness and isolation, knowing that they were not the only ones grappling with these similar emotions. The shock of his death led to an outpouring of grief on social media platforms, where fans expressed their sorrow and paid tribute to his legacy. Hashtags like RipGus became a rallying point for those mourning his loss. Fans shared stories of how his music had helped them through tough times, with many attributing his songs as a source of comfort during their darkest hours. And in a time where many people are still reluctant to talk about mental health, Lil Peep's openness allowed fans to connect over his shared experiences of pain, making his death feel even more personal for those who had found solace in his lyrics. Moreover, the youth culture that Lil Peep helped shape throughout his blending of emo and rap felt an immense sense of loss. He was not just a musician, he was a symbol of freedom and authenticity, offering an alternative to the mainstream rap that often glorified materialism and violence. After his death, fans continued to carry his message of emotional vulnerability and self-expression, honoring his legacy by creating art, tributes, and continuing to support his music. Within the rap community, Lil Peep's death highlighted the pervasive issues of substance abuse, mental health struggles, and the pressure of fame. His passing sent shockwaves through the industry, especially among those who had worked with him or knew him personally. Many of his competitors in the rap scene, including artists like Lil Uzi Vert, Post Malone, and Juice WRLD, expressed their shock and grief over his death. For many, it served as a stark reminder of the dangers that young artists face, particularly when dealing with fame and its associated pressures. In the months following Lil Peep's death, there was a noticeable shift in the way conversations about mental health were framed within the rap community. Lil Peep had openly discussed his battles with depression, anxiety, and drug use, often incorporating those themes into his music. His untimely death drew attention to the toxic culture surrounding substance abuse in the rap industry, where excessive partying, drug use, and the glorification of a rockstar lifestyle were normalized. Artists who had once openly embraced this lifestyle began to reflect more critically on the dangers it posed, with some like Juice WRLD also tragically passing due to similar causes. Moreover, Lil Peep's death fueled a larger discussion about the emotional well-being of artists, the pressures of the industry, including long hours on the road, creative expectations, and a public security can take a toll on even the most successful individuals. The rap community, known for its macho exterior and emphasis on success, started to grapple with how to do better and support the mental health of its artists. This was a growing recognition that the culture of excessive drug use and emotional suppression within the rap could have tragic consequences, prompting calls for change and more open dialogues about mental health. While the emotional toll of Lil Peep's fans and the rap community was profound, the pain of his death was most deeply felt by his family. His mother, Liza Womack, has been particularly vocal about the loss, speaking out in interviews and public appearances about her grief and her desire to raise awareness of the dangers of drug addiction and mental health issues. She expressed the difficulty of losing a child so young, especially someone who had so much potential. In the wake of his death, Womack has used her platform to advocate for greater understanding and support for those struggling with addiction, ensuring that her son's death was not in vain. Lil Peep's family, including his brother, was left to process the loss of someone who was not just a son and brother, but also a cultural figure who had touched millions. The grief of losing him was compounded by the fact that his death was so sudden and preventable. Lil Peep's family has been instrumental in ensuring his legacy is honored, with his mother continuing to push for awareness around addiction and mental health. In the aftermath of his passing, the pain of losing him remains, but his family's advocacy has helped others recognize the need for more support for people struggling with similar issues. In conclusion, the death of Lil Peep reverberated far beyond the music world, leaving an indelible impact on his fans, the rap community, and his family. His passing forced many to confront the stark realities of mental health, substance abuse, and the pressures that young artists face in the spotlight. For his fans, Lil Peep was a symbol of vulnerability and authenticity, offering a voice for those struggling with emotional pain. His death sparked a profound sense of loss, but also led to the continued celebration of his legacy, with many fans and artists embracing his message of openness and self-expression. Within the rap community, his passing shed light on the darker side of fame and substance use, prompting a necessary conversation about the mental health of artists and the cultural norms surrounding drugs in the industry. As more artists began to reflect on the dangers of this lifestyle, Lil Peep's death became a catalyst for change in how the industry addresses these issues. For his family, the pain of losing him is immeasurable, but they have channeled their grief into advocacy, working to raise awareness around addiction and mental health struggles. Throughout their efforts, Lil Peep's legacy lives on, inspiring ongoing dialogue and action toward better support systems for artists and individuals dealing with similar challenges. Ultimately, Lil Peep's death is a tragedy that will never be forgotten, but it also sparked important conversations and actions that continue to shape the way we view mental health, addiction, and the pressures of fame. His life, music, and the impact of his untimely death will remain a powerful reminder of the importance of empathy, support, and the need to take care of our mental well-being. But with that, I've been Skipperson, and this has been Lil Peep, A Tragic Legacy.